What's up, guys? This is the Ugly Engineer, and today we're going to talk about the first year of engineering and some of the things that I went through, some of the things that some of you guys, I'm assuming, are interested in because you're watching this YouTube video and you're probably thinking about starting an engineering degree program in college. And, I didn't know much about engineering school before I started going here, and I was like, maybe I want to do something like this, maybe I don't want to do something like this, and I had no idea what to expect. So that's why I'm making this video, to try to help those guys and girls that might be going into it and have the same fears or doubts that I had when I started. This is something that is only concurrent for people that are coming right out of high school, going straight into engineering school or into college, right? I came in with a few transfer credits coming out to service, so like what I'm going to explain to you, I didn't take these exact classes in my freshman, fall, and spring semester. However, I did take these classes at some time, whether it be from a transfer school or here, maybe just not in this specific semester and this specific year, right? So what I'm gonna explain to you, like I said, is specifically for people that are coming out of high school that wasn't like super smart and was able to do like Calc 7 when they were like a sophomore in high school, right? So this is for people that are just coming straight out of high school and coming right into college, right? So here we go. So the first course you're gonna take, every freshman's got to take it. Like I said, if they didn't take it in high school or something, is Calc 1, right? And Calc 1 is like your basics. Most degree plans make you take some kind of upper form of math nowadays. So the first, like I said, the first class is Calculus 1, and there you're gonna learn your basic differentiation, your basic limits, critical points. I mean, they really just like scratch the surface on what true calculus is. I remember when I went in my first test, I said to myself, listen, if I pass this test, then I'm just gonna keep trucking through. And if I don't pass this test, then I'll drop out and go to business school immediately. Nothing wrong with business, but I'm just saying, college is expensive. So I'm not trying to get stuck in the mud, if that makes sense, right? So I said to myself, listen, if Calc 1 first test doesn't work out, then boom, I'm going straight to business school, because I know I can make it in business. And if engineering wasn't my digs, then hey, it is what it is, right? So anyway, so that's Calculus 1. I remember I had like this Greek teacher, his name started with a K, super nice guy. A lot of people didn't like him, but I kind of liked him because he was old school and he was hardcore, and he was like, just do the math over and over and over and over and over again. And that's how you get good at this, right? A lot of things in engineering, and you'll see with all these different classes I'm going to talk about, is you just got to keep doing it over and over again. Different ways to look at the problems, different forms of the problems, right? Anyway, so that's Calc 1, and every engineer will tell you, like, that is the basis math, right? And you don't have to be a genius to know that, right? All right, so moving on. We got Foundations of Engineering Lab, right? In this class, it's kind of I really think it was just the school trying to excite young engineers, or young want-to-be engineers. But like I said, with this first year, I mean, the dropout rate for engineers is like so high that it doesn't even like make sense why they put it there. Like, let these guys pass Calc 1 and Calc 2 and then try to excite them to be an engineer. By no means, you pass Calc 1 and Calc 2 that you can kick back and just chill. Absolutely not. But putting that excitement course in there, I don't think was really worth the effort. So moving on, we got chemistry for engineers. Actually a pretty darn good course. It was a pretty good course. I hate chemistry with everything in my soul. I rather rip my toenails off and do chemistry. And I'm not trying to, crap on any of those chemical engineers out there, but it's just not my thing. Like, I look at that and I'm like, I don't understand how somebody can devote 4, 5, 7 years, depending on how far you go, to a bunch of molecules and mixtures. I mean, I get it. It is extremely important, and I'm not discounting the importance of the topic and of the discipline. It's just not my thing. And I got to be in it, though. So, I mean, maybe the class was easy. Maybe it was just not that in depth. I don't know. But it is it's general chemistry. So, like, it goes and it talks about just like a step above what you took in high school, right? And in the lab that we took, there was 3-hour labs, and I was like, so long, man. And it was at the end of the day too, and I was just like, but overall, not a bad course. I actually really enjoyed it, especially since I got a B. That was always nice to get a good grade in a class that you didn't have to study too hard for. I didn't have to study too hard for it. I kind of did what was required. Obviously, I didn't get an A in it, so people on this channel are going to be like, oh, well, you studied hard, you would have got an A. Well, listen, dog. I got a life, too, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, moving on. You got your basic English. I didn't take English at USF. I didn't take English in a, brick and mortar college. I actually clept it. And I mean, anybody should clep. Especially if you are paying for college yourself, you should definitely clep school. That was fall semester, right? So that's you just coming out of high school. You're 18, maybe just turned 19, somewhere in that time frame, and you're like, all right, I got my fall semester done, and now it's time to move on to spring semester. Now, spring is now when they start cranking up the heat, right? Because in your fall semester, like I said, Calculus 1, chemistry, all those are, they're, science courses, math courses, but in all reality, most disciplines and most degree plans have you take an upper math and some kind of science that's above, social, some kind of physical science, right? Chemistry be a physical science. And, this one says, is chemistry for engineers? Sure. But, I mean, like I said, is chemistry, right? On our second semester here, we start cranking up the heat. We got Calc 2. And, bro, Calc 2 is terrible. That is a difficult course. I mean, second semester, they are slamming you with work. And they're slamming with you pretty hard concepts, and I'm not saying Calc 2, people don't ever go to Calc 2, people being not engineers, right? Not that engineers are better than other people, but I mean, Anyways, some people do have to take Calc 2 in other degree plans, but when you're an engineer, Calc 2 is pretty much your bread and butter, I mean, this is when you're learning... specifically, you're learning integrals and logarithmic functions. Learning exponentials. You learn all your different trig identities and your different functions. Inverse tangent, inverse sine, inverse cosine. Your hyperbolic functions. I mean, you're just cranking out all types of crazy integrals. That don't worry, guys. You will never see these ever again. They make you go through the ringer, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to teach you how to solve a problem, and that's really what engineering school is all about. It's all about how to solve a problem that has not yet been solved, right? You come into Calc 2, you come into chemistry, you come into Calc 1, you're seeing things that you most likely, and especially the harder ones, that you will never see again, but also that you haven't ever seen before. So they're trying to test you, how does this individual or does this engineering student solve a problem, right? Anyways, moving on, you got your general physics 1 and physics 1 lab. So that is, it's physics 1. You learn your basic Newton mechanics. What else did they put in there? They put in general thermodynamics, physics, optics, very basic electromagnetism and stuff like that. Electricity and learning your right hand rule. You know what I'm saying? Lorentz force, those kind of things. Okay, here we go. On a sidebar here. The way they teach physics 1 at this school is quite terrible, if I might say. And all the physics courses at this school are like this, and I'm open to hear about why they do it this way. I don't know if I'll ever see it from their angle, but the way they prefer to do it is they teach to the curve, right? So that you get graded upon how the rest of the class does. If the rest of the class does crappy, right? And you also are part of that crappy crew, right? You'll get a 70, they'll pass you with a C, and you'll get to the next class, right? Just as much as if the whole class does well, they're betting on you to do well as well. So basically how it works is they take the average amount of correct answers, and then whatever that number is for a class of 200, 300, whatever it is, that's where they set the 70. So let's say the average amount of correct answers, and this is like a very real scenario, what happened. Out of a 15 question test is like 7 correct answers, right? So 7 out of 15 in reality is a 46. So by pretty much any college standard, that's failing on a 15 question test. However, that's where they set the 70. So let's say you get an 8 out of 15 after the correction. Actually, what you got is like a 75, maybe 76. Now, if a class does that bad and maybe you get only, 11 out of 15 right, so 11 out of 15 in reality is a 73. However, that could put you like in the 90% correct, or, your grade would be like a 90%, even though you got like a 73 in all reality, right? So I don't really like the way they teach that, or the way they run that class, because they just like slam information into you. They don't really care if you learn it or not. They just want to make sure that they can pass you to the next one. Because I'll be straight up with you, I learned physics 1 like a year later. Like I actually learned physics, the topics in physics 1, I actually learned them in later classes. And maybe that's why they do it. They do it because they want to just expose you to the information. They just want to like open your eyes to the information, and then after that they're just like, well, he'll learn it, he or she will learn it down the road, so we don't really care about it right this second, right? Moving on, we got English 2. Same thing with English 1. I clept that, so I didn't really get the opportunity to take that in college, in brick and mortar college we'll call it, right? But straight up, it's your basic English class. Clep it. It's not that hard. Just clep it. You're gonna be stuck in there with a bunch of other people from different like degree plans or whatever. So it's a good time to make like friends that may not be engineers, because as soon as you get past, as soon as you get past your basic classes and actually get into engineering school, I mean, there's gonna be time to hang out, but your hangout time is when you're studying. So you do 50 minutes of work and then take 10 minutes to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, because most of the time when I hang out with my engineering buddies, it's hey, we're getting some studying done while we're here. Why not be efficient? Number one rule in engineering: efficiency, and trade-offs too. Anyways, and then for your final course for that year, you're gonna take like a humanities course at this school, right? I took Intro to Religions for one of my humanities, and pretty good course, easy. You actually, some of these humanities courses and these different, general education requirements, they might not be what you want to learn, right? You're in engineering, you don't really care about world religions maybe in a class perspective, but, I learned a few things in it, just like being more learning about religions. It was an interesting course. I got an A in it, so that's also a good thing as well, So anyways, guys, so this was a review of first year engineering school. Like I said, everything is dependent on what school you go to and how they run it there, right? But most of your engineering courses, you're going to take 2 sciences, 2 maths in your first year, just to get you prepped for the rest of your time there. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. This is just a review of the first year, so like and subscribe if you want to see the rest.